And then with the Instinct Solar 2, it's like, what's the added benefit? Hi guys, Matt here. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing fabulous. I'm back with another review. A kind of review. It's like more like an opinion piece, I guess. Although I guess all reviews are also opinions. So anyway, today I'm going to be talking about the new, well, not new. It came out half a year ago, really. So I'm going to be talking about the Garmin Instinct 2 Solar rugged adventure watch from Garmin, which I have received like probably half a year ago. But Garmin had quite a few exciting releases at the time, and then there were like more watches coming out. So I like ended up like I put on this watch and then moving to testing other watches, and all of a sudden it was half a year later I'm like, oh, I still haven't actually given the Garmin Instinct 2 Solar a full review. So here it is, kind of like a full review today, and more like the story of why I stopped using the watch after like a week or so, what made me not use the watch any longer, despite it being not a bad watch at all. And let's just talk about the Garmin Instinct 2 Solar, shall we? The Garmin Instinct 2 Solar came out early 2022. I believe it was around February. Was it in February? I think it was in February. This is the successor of the Garmin Instinct and the Garmin Instinct Solar, which has been a super popular watch from Garmin, aimed at a younger audience, those people who kind of like the adventurous outdoor lifestyle but can't really afford a Phoenix watch. So for them there was this monochrome kind of watch that you can use for surfing or other extreme sports, and it was just kind of like a minimalist watch that did it kind of had like this retro vibe, so like kind of like a G-Shock kind of Casio look, and it was super appealing because it was cheap, it was accessible, and there were quite a lot of offers going on as well. I remember around Black Friday and all that jazz, there was like a lot of interest around the Instinct, because the generally cheaper watch was even cheaper at the time. And again, it's still not expensive. The new watch is actually way more expensive than the old one used to be. So as for physical specifications of the watch, it's kind of similar from a look and build quality point of view to the original Instinct. It comes in, however, the new one comes in two sizes. Both sizes are the same price. So you got the 40mm watch case and a 45mm watch case version of the Instinct 2 and an Instinct 2 Solar, and then you got also different editions. So you got the standard edition, and then you got the Camo edition, which has a camo like pattern. So like it just basically just like it just looks. That's the only difference. It has the same functions. You got a Surf edition, which has like a weather widget and like surf. I think that has the surf sports mode as well. And then you got the tactical edition, which is like a military sort of edition of the watch. It has like a kill switch, and I think it has a compatibility with night vision goggles as well. Not something that you need as an everyday person, but I guess from a military point of view, you can use that. That's the most expensive variety as well. And they also get my favorite edition, which is the Dezl edition, which is an Instinct 2 version designed for basically lorry or truck drivers, and it has like reminders to exercise and kind of custom layout for truck drivers, which I mean, this goes to show how Garmin is filling market gaps that you don't think exist, but because Garmin has so many watches, it can do things like the Garmin Instinct 2 Dezl edition, or the Garmin Enduro, which is like a watch designed for ultra long distance trail runners, which is like, I guess it's a super niche market, but again, Garmin can it has the background, has the know-how, has the the R&D to produce these watches. Anyhow, the Garmin Instinct 2 Solar, I've got the bigger version, so it's a 45mm watch case version. It has a 0.9 times 0.9 inch screen, which is the biggest screen, and you've got a small screen up in the corner as well. That I haven't got a resolution for that. So the other one, the big one, I think it's 176 pixels times 176 pixels, and again 0.9 inches in diameter. It's like a square. It's kind of in the square, I guess. This is surrounded. This is the Solar version as well. So you could see the power glass sort of ring, solar harvesting ring around the watch, which is a newer version of the power glass than what it was in the Instinct Solar. So it's more efficient. I'm going to talk about battery life in just a second. So you got that as well. And again, it's a monochrome memory pixel screen, and it's also a rugged watch. So it's like this is one of probably not quite as rugged as the Phoenix, It has a polymer case, so it's a plastic case, but you got the same or the usual Garmin 5-button layout. There's no touchscreen, and it's, you know, kind of like a straightforward. It's not a dumbed down version of the Phoenix, but it kind of like, yeah, it's like a Phoenix Lite for people who like not that bothered about a premium smartwatch sort of, you know, nature of their watch, but want a rugged watch from Garmin. They can opt in for the Garmin Instinct 2 and Instinct 2 Solar, essentially. Oh, and the watch has the latest Elevate version 4 heart rate sensor. It hasn't got the new multi-system so it has a multi-system GNSS, so it can access multiple you know, satellite system for positioning, but it hasn't got the dual band or multi-band chip that has the newest watches, the Forerunner 255 and the Forerunner 955 has. So it has just the single, you know, a single band essentially. So it's slightly less, you know, it's not quite as fast as those ones basically. So as I mentioned, the biggest appeal obviously about the watch is this watch in particular, and I think it was the case in the original Solar as well. So the Instinct Solar is that it has the power glass, it has a monochrome display, it has a small monochrome display. Just to put in perspective, this is the larger, you know, the 45mm watch case Instinct 2 Solar, and it has a 0.9 times 0.9 inch screen, which is smaller than the screen or the display on the Garmin Forerunner 255S, which is the small 255, and that watch is tiny, and this one has a smaller screen. Like the big screen on this watch is smaller than the 255S's screen, if that makes sense. So it's a very small screen. Because it's such a small screen, the battery life is really good. So in this one, in smartwatch mode, again, the larger version has a longer battery life because obviously there's more room for the battery. So this one has a 28-day battery life in smartwatch mode, which is pretty impressive, you know. So if you don't use the GPS, then that's without the solar charging as well. So solar charging, I think with the solar charging goes up to like what, 51 days or something on the lines. So you can use this watch for a month without charging it if you're not too bothered about GPS, you know, activity tracking, which is really impressive. And again, it's similar to how the Instinct Solar was. So Garmin advertises this watch as a watch that can go indefinitely on solar power, essentially, which is obviously in practice doesn't work that way unless you spend most of your days outdoors wearing the watch, because you need, you know, and obviously the watch is supposed to be in the battery saver mode as well. So if the watch is in battery saver mode and you spend at least, you know, a few hours outdoors with you know, full blast sun or at least a lot of sunshine, then you can use the watch indefinitely on just on solar. And again, it's just like, it doesn't really happen in real life. However, obviously, even if you use it normally, then you still get like, you know, a month and a half battery life out of it, if you expose it to enough sunlight. Again, if you like, I guess if you're a surfer, then that might happen. A lot of other people probably not going to spend 3 hours out a day, you know, in sunshine. Or maybe you do. Maybe you have a work that enables you to be outside for that long, and you can wear the watch. Then obviously that could help. So power glass, indefinite battery life is one of the biggest selling points of the Instinct 2 Solar, excuse me. And you know, from that perspective, it kind of delivers the experience that you would expect. Again, not indefinite battery life, but quite long battery life nevertheless. And it's even water rated to 1080 amps. So it's you know, you can swim with this. You can, you know, again, surf if you wanted to. So, you know, you can do a lot of things. And the Corning glass is going to protect the front of the, you know, the watch, the display as well. And under the display you got the power glass. So again, it's protected because of the Corning Gorilla Glass as well. And you know, you got a lot of features that, like, I guess, aimed at outdoor enthusiasts. You got a lot of sport modes. You got the hit workout sport modes on the watch as well, which is like, I guess it's something that people might be interested in. And then you got like stuff like, you know, golfing, a lot of golfing features on the watch. But, you know, a million sport modes. You obviously got the usual stuff. You got like 24/7 heart rate monitoring. You obviously got the GPS chip built in. You haven't got built-in memory for music, but you got the body battery. You got stress management. You got respiration management, and, you know, like a bunch of things that you usually come with Garmin watches. And it is a full-fledged Garmin watch. So it's not just like a fitness tracker, this is like a proper, you know, a multi-sport watch essentially. So you can use it for a lot of activities, you can track a lot of different activities, and then you can also use it as a you know, as a smartwatch as such. And again, I guess it looks kind of retro and cool and whatnot, so there is that as well. Obviously, if it's a cool watch, and you know, you can use it for your cool outdoor activities, why did I stop wearing it after a week? Well, the truth is, you know, I guess I am not necessarily the target market for this watch, so obviously we have to factor that in. However, I think that apart from obviously the improved power glass and probably some, you know, some tweaks with the, you know, obviously has a new heart rate sensor as well. The watch, the actual experience of using the watch is not that different from the original Instinct or Instinct Solar. And I even in January, February when the watch came out, I thought it wasn't quite good enough, I guess, for me in 2022 to have a watch with a small monochrome display. And again, I was like, as much as I appreciate and I want a decent battery life on a memory and pixel screen, I was like, I can't even read the screen usually, because sometimes half of the screen, like, you know, it's a small screen, and then the writing on the screen is also very small, which again, on an everyday use, I guess it's fine. Because you can still work it out, but especially when I run or use it for other exercises, the data screens are tiny, and you can't fit as many data screens on the screen anyway, because you got the dual screen, you know, sort of layout. So I believe you can only go up to 4 data screens, of which one of them is the small screen at the top corner, which is fine. But again, without the color as well, it's quite hard to make out what's happening. So I used the Garmin, like the daily workout suggestions on the watch as well, and it just doesn't look the same as it is on the watch, even with the memory and pixel screen, but like a color screen. So for me, it was quite hard to use and harder to understand when I needed to understand it fast, which is when you work out the watch. And again, it was like the writing is just so tiny. It also makes it harder for me to work out what's happening on the screen. I don't know. It didn't really win me over. I guess I'm just not really a target market for this watch, essentially, long story short. There are other people who probably will enjoy this, but also it's not a cheap watch either. So that was the other thing. I was like, would I pay, you know, $450 or £400 for this watch to use this watch, or is it worth that much? And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's worth that much, because you can get a decent, obviously not Garmin, but like decent rugged watches for much less, and not to mention that you can get decent multi-sport watches for much less if you're not super keen on the whole rugged, you know, exterior of the watch. Because, and I know I gave the Polar Pacer Pro a hard time, but you know, you can get a Polar Pacer Pro for much cheaper than the Instinct 2 Solar. And again, this one has the solar, so if you're very keen on solar, you want to go for the Instinct 2 Solar. But at the same time, you know, it's still $450, which is a lot of money for a monochrome screen watch with a bit tiny writing on it. It's not even that it's not premium, because it has a very rugged build, and it kind of feels nice on the wrist as well. But at the same time, like, it has a tiny screen compared to the size of the watch, and it's just, I guess it's just not quite impressive enough to justify the price. I would probably still go with the original Instinct Solar if I was really keen on getting one of these watches, because you can get those, you know, you can find a lot of, you know, good deals on that watch. And it's, you know, for what it is, for the purpose of the watch, that was perfectly okay, you know. Like, I guess I wouldn't use this necessarily on its own for like hardcore training. And if I want a fun outdoor watch, the Instinct is fine, and I can always just, like, you know, use the one of the Garmin heart rate straps if I want advanced running metrics and heart rate monitoring and accurate heart rate monitoring, and then you know, you still got a fun watch. And then with the Instinct Solar 2, it's like, what's the added benefit? Why am I paying more? Obviously, a slightly longer battery life, but again, the Instinct Solar was you know, had a pretty decent battery life as well. And then you're like, I'm just not sure. So yeah, I stopped wearing this after a week. I went back to wearing the Forerunner 955 for now, and I'm also wearing the Fitbit Charge 5. So it's not like, you know, it's like, I mean, obviously I'm always going to wear 2 watches at least, but yeah, the Instinct 2 Solar just didn't win me over, really. It was just, I mean, I guess it's just not for me, really. And, you know, just one more thing right at the end is that whereas I've heard a lot of people talking about the original Instinct quite a lot originally, and again, it was very popular, the Instinct 2 Solar doesn't seem to be that popular, maybe because of the price, maybe because it obviously, the watch market is more saturated now than it used to be. So I guess there's less of a buzz around the watch than it used to be, so there's a bit of that as well. But so that was it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. This was kind of like a different than my usual watch reviews. Maybe it's not going to be quite as popular, and obviously because, you know, the watch is not quite as new either. Again, thank you for watching. If you're still watching this video, I would be quite surprised if you are, but, you know, thank you very much for watching it. If you enjoyed it, you know, please consider liking the video, and of course subscribing to the channel, because there's more wearables and running shoes and running headphones reviews coming very, very soon. And as always, the support is much appreciated. Your feedback is even more appreciated. If you want me to review anything or talk about anything or compare things with with other things, please let me know, because I would be happy to hear what you want to see, really. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a lovely day, and I shall see you very, very soon. Bye.